You know, when we think about family, we usually picture love, safety, a support system. But what if your family was actually the most dangerous thing in your life? Today, we are diving deep into the powerful and, honestly, destructive force at the very center of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, family itself.
This, right here, is the question of the entire play. For Romeo and Juliet, the one group of people that should protect them becomes the arena for their biggest fight. It really forces you to ask, is family loyalty a good thing, or is it just a cage? So, on one side, you've got the ideal family we all hope for, right? A place of love and support. But for the Montagues and Capulets, that is not their reality. In the pressure cooker world of Verona, family is all about power, public pride, and keeping up that reputation, no matter what it costs. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll hit the streets of Verona to check out the public honor code. Then, we're stepping inside the Capulet house to look at a father's decree. After that, we'll explore a daughter's defiance. And finally, we'll see how it all adds up to the ultimate price. Okay, first up, the honor code. This is all about how a private feud between two families explodes into the streets, becoming an all-out public war for pride. See, in Verona, your family name is everything. It's not just who you are, it's a public statement about whose side you're on. And nobody, and I mean nobody, takes this more seriously than Juliet's cousin Tybalt. For him, being a Capulet is the whole deal. I mean, just look at his very first line in the play. He doesn't just join a fight, he shows up promising death. Benvolio, who's a Montague, is trying to break things up, keep the peace. But the second Tybalt sees an enemy, he's threatening his life. His loyalty is straight up violent. And it doesn't stop. Later at the Capulets' party, Tybalt just hears Romeo's voice, and his first instinct isn't to get annoyed, it's to call for his sword. He is totally ready to spill blood in his own home to defend the family name from just one Montague? This quote, this is basically his mission statement. Peace, not an option. For Tybalt, hating Montagues is on the same level as hating hell itself. It's not a simple rivalry, it's baked into his identity. So, what on earth is driving this guy? Well, the answer is a concept called hegemonic masculinity, and it's the engine running this whole feud. In Verona, men, especially young guys like Tybalt, had to prove their worth by being aggressive. If you backed down from a fight, you didn't just lose face, you shamed your entire family. Tybalt is the poster child for this toxic system. So that's the public pressure, but it has a mirror image behind closed doors. Now we're moving from the streets into the home to look at a father's decree and a whole different kind of power. At the beginning of the play, you almost think Lord Capulet is a pretty decent dad, right? He tells Paris that Juliet's too young to get married, that she's still a kid, seems reasonable, but just watch how fast that changes. When Juliet dares to say no to marrying Paris, he explodes. He calls her young baggage. He goes from protector to tyrant in 0 to 60. And this isn't just a dad losing his temper. No, this crazy switch reveals the real conflict here: parental love versus total control. The moment Juliet shows she has a will of her own, she stops being his daughter. In his mind, she becomes his property, and disobedient property at that. His love was always based on her obedience. And to really feel the pressure Juliet is under, you gotta think about this number: 12. Seriously, arranged marriages were normal for wealthy families, and girls as young as 12 were married off to make alliances and boost family status. So Lord Capulet hesitating at first, that was actually unusual. His rage later on, that was the norm. Juliet was expected to have absolutely no say in her own life. So, all of this brings us to part 3, a daughter's defiance. With the pressure of public honor outside and a controlling father inside, how does Juliet possibly handle this situation? This one line, it captures Juliet's entire tragedy perfectly. The very second she finds true love, she finds out it's with the one person on earth she's supposed to hate. It's this awful paradox, right? Her greatest happiness is tangled up with her family's greatest hate. So her journey from here is this kind of quiet but super powerful rebellion. First, she sees the conflict. Then she starts to question the whole idea of family names, asking that famous question, "Wherefore art thou Romeo?" And finally, she makes this radical decision. If he won't reject his name, then she'll reject hers. And this is it. This is the big moment of defiance. She's just talking to herself on her balcony, but she declares she's willing to stop being a Capulet.
This is so much more than teenage rebellion, you guys. It's a revolutionary act. She is choosing her individual love over her identity, her family, her duty, everything. Now, to get just how shocking this is, you need to understand the idea of filial duty. This was basically the foundation of their entire society. A child's job was to be loyal and obedient. End of story. So by saying she'll no longer be a Capulet, Juliet is taking a sledgehammer to one of the biggest social rules of her time. So, where does all this lead? In our final section, we'll see how all these things, public honor, parental control, and personal defiance, get tangled together to create the play's tragic ending, the ultimate price. It's like a tragic chain reaction, isn't it? The public demand for honor leads to violence and gets Romeo banished. Lord Capulet's absolute control leaves Juliet with no choices, forcing her to do something desperate. Their conflicted loyalties mean they have to have a secret wedding that was basically doomed from the start. Every single step of the tragedy is fueled by some kind of family pressure.
And this is the ultimate, devastating irony of the whole play. The Montagues and the Capulets fought this long, bloody war to protect their family name. But in the end, that exact same fight led to the deaths of their only kids, which destroyed the very legacy they were fighting to protect. And that leaves us with a question that's just as real for us today. The play makes us think about the pressures we all face, from family, from society. In a world that's always trying to define you by your last name or your background, the story of Romeo and Juliet asks every single one of us, who do you choose to be?